We're live, Judge.
We on? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bexar County Court at Law number 6 and the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court via Zoom remote hearing. We have approximately 10 pleas today, 2 Veterans Treatment Court pleas, 8 normal pleas, and 2 motions to revoke probation. We're going to take up the motions to revoke probation first. We got Mr. Roundtree and Mr. Perez with us at this time. Tim, are you with us?
I am here, Judge.
And we have
Mr. Perez as well.
Also?
Yes.
Yes, here.
Okay. This is cause number 610493, style State of Texas versus Carlos Perez. Mr. Perez and Mr. Roundtree, I have 2 documents I need y'all to identify your signatures on for me. The first one is titled Defendant's Consent to MTR Hearing by Video Conference. And the second one is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Mr. Perez, are these your signatures on each of these documents, sir?
Which one, sir?
Did you sign both of these documents, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
And Mr. Roundtree, are these your signatures on both of these documents?
They are, Judge.
Okay. My understanding is this is a motion to revoke community supervision. It is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct, Mr. Roundtree?
Yes, Judge. We were intending to plead true on a violation and give an explanation.
With an explanation, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Representing the state is Mr. Nicholas Maru. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you are about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. And let's see. On the motion to revoke probation, Mr. Roundtree, how does the defendant plead?
Judge, we'd like to plead true to condition, violating condition number 14 on the 29th day of December 2020 in Bexar County. Mr. Perez did fail to complete 60 hours of community service.
Okay. Ms. Gross, as the supervisor for the Bexar County CSCD, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Perez's probation, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Perez has performed very poorly on probation. He has been arrested and charged and is awaiting indictment on a DWI third. He's paid $100 towards his fees, has a balance of $1,219, and is delinquent $1,219. He has not completed any of his 60 hours of community service. He's currently not on any devices, and he had been given 30 days. He was also ordered to go to SATF, our substance abuse treatment facility, and he had a date at which time he was supposed to turn himself in. He failed to do so. He's failed to submit to drug testing. He has not enrolled in or provided completion documents for the DWI Education Victim Impact Panel, CATSNP program, or DWI intervention programs. He did undergo a TAP evaluation, which did make him eligible to go to SATF. Again, he's not being monitored at this time. As for a criminal history, he has a prior arrest for DWI intoxication with an open container, 2 driving while license invalid charges, a DWI, a possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, this case, and then of course he is awaiting indictment on the felony case. The probation has tried to work with Mr. Perez. We have afforded him many opportunities to help himself. He was given an opportunity through the court. The court afforded him an extension of probation so that we could get him some help for his alcohol issues. He has failed to follow through, and because of that and him not wanting to help himself, we are recommending that his probation be revoked.
Mr. Roundtree, would you please advise the court and the state and the probation department about your side of the story and
Sure.
what you and Mr. Perez request?
I will, Judge, and I will note I'm the second attorney on this revocation, I believe. I think Judge Barron's was on there initially. My understanding is, Judge, that Carlos was in custody for about 6 weeks, right up until Thanksgiving, and then was released at that time. And of course, Judge, as I know that you do, you've required him to get, I think, Smart Start Mobile or some sort of alcohol monitoring device. He was also, my understanding is, he was also being given instructions by pretrial services for other devices. So he is on a Scram device currently. I'm not sure if that was ordered by you or by the other court. On the MTR, I see a handwritten note that says GPS, Scram, and weekly reports and UA. So I assume maybe you did order the Scram. I'm not sure, Judge. But
Mr. Roundtree, apparently there's confusion being generated currently because the Scram company has recently, and only recently in the last several weeks, come up with a new device. The original device and the only and exclusive Scram device I was familiar with was the ankle bracelet, which monitored a person's skin and reported alcohol traces, etc. Apparently the company has now come up with an equivalent product of what I call the Smart Start mobile device, which is a handheld portable breath testing device. And I believe in this case there was some confusion both for the defendant and all the attorneys, because I think the felony judge ordered specifically a Scram breath testing device, not the ankle bracelet. And I was ordering the ankle bracelet. So
okay,
that shows the defendant does have some argument there because he didn't know what was being ordered from him. He did what he was told to do, and I understand that.
Okay, and so he does have the Scram, and so that would show that he's not drinking, Judge. He has started in December going to AA, but it's an online virtual thing that he does there. He has finished the VIP as of today, so of course the state isn't aware of that. I got the certificate emailed to me, so he's done that. Judge, he is facing this DWI charge. He could potentially go to prison for up to 10 years on that case. Likely he won't go to prison for that long, but he could. He could also go to residential or inpatient treatment, and we've got to deal with that still, Judge. So, Mr. Perez, at this time, I've talked to him. He said, spending 6 weeks in jail, I don't know why it took that, but it finally took that to get my attention. I think he's making efforts to do things now that he was not before, Judge. So you have the authority. I believe you have probation doesn't expire until July. I think that's correct. You could keep him on probation and allow him to do the cat snips while we wait for resolving the felony case itself. I think he couldn't go. I'm not sure on this, but I think the state let me know he couldn't go to SATF in part because he has a pending felony. I don't know if that's not accurate. I see Pat shaking her head. Well, that's what I have been told. But in any event, we're still working out that felony case. We don't have a resolution on that yet. In talking with the state, I know that if you were to revoke them, they're not, well, Mr. Maru can speak for himself, but I don't think there would be opposed to giving him some sort of JSAT and allowing us to just deal with this felony. So, Judge, I agree, and Mr. Perez would agree. He didn't do well on probation at all, but I think this 6 weeks has finally gotten his attention, as any amount of jail time often does. And he is the only, I think, working person in his family. He's got kids. So, Judge, I'd ask that you'd consider the JSAT or consider, resetting to see if he's going to be in compliance 100% now that you've got his full attention, and going from there, Judge.
Thank you. State recommendation?
Judge, after speaking with felony and seeing that they already have an offer on the table for Mr. Perez, likely he will be doing some type of felony probation with intensive, probably inpatient, or he is looking at felony time. The state would recommend revocation and a JSAT.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Gross, did you give the department's recommendation on this case? I missed it if you did. Susan, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Your microphone's off. She's waving at us.
Unfortunately, I recall her recommendation was revocation, Judge.
Okay.
Susan says she has no mic.
Susan is saying that for some reason she's lost her mic.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Mr. Roundtree and or Mr. Maru, my understanding is, although this case is a Class A misdemeanor and has a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail, my understanding is the plea bargain initially, when Mr. Perez entered probation, it was for 6 months and I think a $400 fine. Does that sound right to you, Mr. Roundtree?
Judge, the only document that I have is the MTR, so I would have to.
Judge, I'm looking at the underlying sentence. Is that what you're asking for? What the underlying sentence was?
Yes.
That's 6 months, and then the original fine was a $400 fine.
Okay.
I got you. Mr. Perez, the court accepts your plea of true to allegation 14 with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. It says a $400 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. I believe he has 47 days time already served, Mr. Roundtree.
Right.
Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Perez?
No, Judge.
Good luck, Mr. Perez. Thank you, Mr. Roundtree.
So, Judge, what does Mr. Perez do at this point?
Good point. Mr. Perez, turn yourself into the Bexar County Jail at 9:00 a.m. on Monday, January 25th. That'll give you a little time to get your affairs in order. Do you have any questions, Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir. Sir, the 6 months, I'm being honest with you, sir. I just really can't afford that right now, sir. I cannot lose this job I have. I have a great job. It's an IT job, sir, with the pandemic going on. If I lose this job, if I have to go, I'm going to lose this job and it's going to cripple my family. And I admit I made some mistakes. I have to admit that.
Hold on, Mr. Perez. Hold on.
Mr. Roundtree, you want to have that discussion with your client? Would you like to go to a breakout room or y'all can chat after this is over?
Yes, I can do that, Judge. Will the court allow for work release if my client should choose to do that?
There is no work release as you and I know it presently. Work release now means the person lives at home and goes to work and comes back home. The original concept of work release is the individual spent the night in jail.
Okay.
And would come back to jail every night, but that's no longer viable into the COVID problem. So that's
would
not
the court consider that, Judge?
He's kind of been doing that on his own for the last many months.
Would the court consider that? And I know that maybe, I don't know if there were fees and fines that were owed, if he could somehow get those fees paid off, would the court allow him to serve that out?
No, I've already sentenced him, and that's the sentence that he's going to serve.
All right.
Good luck, Mr. Perez. Thank you, Mr. Roundtree. Y'all can, you're released at this time. He's going to report on Monday morning at 9:00 to the jail on the 25th of January. If y'all want to go to a breakout room right now, that's fine. Pat can do that, or you can chat off the record.
I'll call Carlos right now. Thanks, Carlos.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck, sir.
We've lost Susan for a minute. Or is she back?
Is she going to be able to fix her?
I don't know. She was trying to fix it and I don't see her on here. She might have gone out.
Well, we can go to the pleas. We don't need Susan on pleas.
Yeah, you can go on to please. The only
Mr. Rodriguez, MTR, when Susan comes back, perhaps.
Yeah, she said for you to please do the pleas. The only one we are missing is Mr. Garcia on Miss Bettis. Miss Bettis is here though.
Great. Okay, we'll take up cause 636-978, State of Texas versus Raylyn Campos with Judge Joanne De Hoyos as defense counsel. And Mr. Nicholas Maru, once again, is the Assistant Criminal District Attorney representing the state on all these cases. Cause 636-162.
Present, Your Honor. Sorry, my mute was not unmuting. Yes, she's present.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Say again.
She's present and I'm present on that. Campos?
Yes, what about Ms. Campos? I'm sorry?
She's present?
She's present. Thank you. I think everybody's present is my understanding. Pat, is that not true?
You know, you need an announcement on the record.
We only are missing Richard Garcia, who is the attorney for Miss Bettis.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take the two Veterans
Right.
Treatment Court pleas, and Ms. Pettis at the same time at the end of all these other pleas
Okay,
when we get
that's
all the
fine.
defense counsel present.
That'll give him time. Thank you.
So once again, we're going to do all these in one time. So everybody stay calm, stay cool. We're going to get through this. Starting with cause 636-978, State of Texas versus Raylyn Campos, represented by Judge Joanne De Hoyos. Cause 636-162, State of Texas versus Christina Kunkel, represented by Judge Joanne De Hoyos. Cause number 651-690, State of Texas versus Bill Anthony Rhodes, represented by Attorney Kelly Kelly.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm present. And
Thank you. Cause number 645-653, State of Texas versus Roxanne Romero, represented by Attorney Hiku Lee. We have cause number 639977, State of Texas versus Jerry Sanchez, represented by Miss Elizabeth Russell. We have cause 646132, State of Texas versus Joshua Finken, represented by Mr. Robert White. And last but not least, we have State of Texas versus Benny Gomez, cause 620957, represented by Paul Vasquez. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I need you to identify a document on each of your cases entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, which purports to have each of your defendant's signatures as well as your attorney's. Ms. Campos, in cause 636-978, is this your signature on the Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference document?
Yes.
Thank you. And Judge Joanne, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in clause 636-162, Ms. Kunkel, is this your signature on this consent document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And once again, Judge De Hoyos, is this your signature as attorney for Ms. Kunkel?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in clause 651-690, Mr. Rhodes, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Kelly, as attorney for Mr. Rhodes, is this your signature also?
yes, Your Honor.
In clause 645-653, Ms. Romero, is this your signature on this consent document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And Ms. Lee, is this your signature as attorney?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. In clause 639977, Mr. Sanchez, is this your signature on this consent document, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Russell, as attorney for Mr. Sanchez, is this your signature also on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. In clause 646132, Mr. Finken, is this your signature on this consent document?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. White, as attorney for Mr. Finken, is this also your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Judge, it is.
And in clause 620957, Mr. Gomez, is this your signature on this defendant's consent to plea by video conference document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Vasquez, as attorney for Mr. Gomez, is this your signature also on this document?
It is.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm holding in front of you a document entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions that purport to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Campos, is this your signature on this document? Or Ms. Campos, excuse me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Kunkel, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rhodes, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Romero, is this your signature on this document, ma'am? Ms. Romero, can you hear me?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
It is your signature? Thank you. Mr. Sanchez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Finken, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Gomez, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Each of you, by signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney. So that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, Ms. Campos?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Ms. Kunkel?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Romero?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Sanchez?
Sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Sanchez? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Is that correct, Mr. Finken? And is that correct, Mr. Gomez?
Yes, sir.
As attorney for Ms. Campos, have you had enough time to go over this case with her, and in your opinion, is she mentally competent?
I have, and she is, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Ms. Kunkel.
Have, and she is, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Rhodes.
I have and he is, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Ms. Romero.
Yes, Your Honor, the same. I have and she is.
Thank you. Same question for attorney for Mr. Sanchez.
I have and he is, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Same question for attorney for Mr. Finken.
I have and he is, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. And same question for attorney for Mr. Gomez.
I have and he is.
Thank you. Ms. Campos, are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Same question for Ms. Kunkel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Rhodes.
Yes, sir.
Same question for Ms. Romero.
You have to unmute.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Romero, are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Sanchez.
Sir.
Same question for Mr. Finken. And same question for Mr. Gomez.
Yes, sir.
As attorney for Ms. Campos, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
We have, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Ms. Kunkel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Rhodes.
They have, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Ms. Romero.
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Thank you. Same question for attorney for Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, they have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for attorney for Mr. Finken.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And same question for attorney for Mr. Gomez. Mr. Vasquez, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
They have.
Okay. Ms. Campos, in cause 636978 to the charge of interfering with an emergency telephone call. How do you plead, ma'am?
Ms. Campos, you're entering for guilty. You're entering a plea of no contest, Your Honor. You entered for-
Court accepts the plea of no contest to the offense of interfering with an emergency telephone call. Pat, as far as administrative issues go, apparently on the defendant's waiver of constitutional rights and court's admonitions, there was a administrative error and assault was the alleged offense.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've instructed our chief clerk, Lewis, to change that to the correct interfering with an emergency telephone call. Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Defendant entered a plea of no contest. State, is there an agreement in this case?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 14 months deferred adjudication, $400 fine, court costs, 36 hours of community service, an APSE course, and a no contact order with Kayleen Gonzalez.
That is our understanding and agreement, Your Honor. We'd ask you to follow it.
Would you spell the first name of Miss Gonzalez? That's the person we're not going to contact.
Kayleen.
Kayleen, got it. And Ms. Campos, is there any reason you need to contact Ms. Gonzalez? We don't want to set you up for failure like y'all have children together or something. Is there any issue there that we need to talk about now?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of interfering with an emergency telephone call. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt. Place you on 14 months, deferred adjudication probation. It says a $400 fine plus court costs, 36 hours community service, the APSE course, in order you to have no contact whatsoever with Kayleen Gonzalez. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Campos?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck,
No,
Ms.
Judge.
Campos. Thank you,
She
Judge.
stays
Dehoy.
around for Susan, correct?
Say again?
She stays around for Susan, or they give her a new date?
Pat, how are we doing the probation issues?
What they're doing is, anybody who's been granted probation, what they need to do is wait for 48 hours. They are to be contacted by probation within 48 hours. If they do not contact you within the 48 hours, you need to call a phone number. So I'm hoping you all have a pencil and paper ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Number is 210-335-7200. When you call, you ask for intake. So it's going to be your responsibility that if in 48 hours you are not contacted, you have to contact them.
Okay, everybody, also, when you call that second number, also call your attorney. And the attorney, if we're having problems that far along, you call either Pat or me or both of us, and we'll fix it.
Yes.
Are they also there on the weekends?
No.
So then the 48 hours would be for Monday? So on Monday, I could be able to call them?
Yes,
Okay.
but
Thank you.
I would wait until Monday afternoon, maybe around 4, if they haven't contacted you by then, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me know, Raylan, if you don't have any contact too. Just contact me also by email.
Thank you.
Okay. Maybe excuse, Your Honor?
Okay, we're going to cause 636-162, State of Texas versus Christina Kunkel. State, my question for you is this originally a DWI first offense, or is this something you're reducing?
This is my first.
I think this is a first, Judge.
It's a reduction from 1.5, Your Honor, from a class A to a regular DWI.
We are waiving the enhancement though, Judge, yes.
Okay, it had a greater than 1.5 enhancement originally?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I got you. Objection from the defense, that will be granted.
Thank you.
And Ms. Kunkel has already pled to that offense, DWI first offense. Let's do it again. Ms. Kunkel, to the charge of driving while intoxicated first offense, how do you plead, ma'am? No contest, is that correct?
We're entering no contest plea. Yes.
And state, is there an agreement for Ms. Kunkel?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 6/12, a $300 fine, court cost, 36 hours community service, DWI ed, dip, cat snip, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
That is our agreement, Your Honor.
Ms. Kunkel, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated first offense. I find you guilty. I assess 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 12 months, assessing a $300 fine plus court cost, 36 hours of community service, DWI education program, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety new intervention program, outpatient drug, and Smart Start mobile home breath testing device for 6 months, which is 1/2 the term. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Kunkel?
Yes, Your Honor. She wanted me to inform you, if you test her the next 30 days, she'll be positive for marijuana. So you just wanted to let you know that, to be honest.
Thank you for telling us that. Not very many people do that for us, and we're going to test you in 31 days, and I assume by then everything will be squeaky clean. Would that be correct, Ms. Kunkel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Atta baby.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Sure.
The community service, would that be in Bexar County? Like, I live in Travis County. I was wondering if it would be possible to transfer here.
I'm sorry, you live in what county?
Travis, I live in Austin.
Travis.
Central New York.
We need to transfer your probation to Travis County. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes,
Thank
thank you. I forgot one.
And yes, you can do community service up there.
Thank you.
Pat, if she's transferring, she still calls the same number and tell me that she's transferring, right?
I believe so. I think Susan's on. I'm not sure.
Hang on, I'm trying to turn up the speakers here. Okay.
Yeah, Susan's on, but yeah, I would have her call anyway.
All right, Ms. Kunkel, if you have a problem, just email me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Kunkel?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Ms. Kunkel. Thank you, Judge Joanne.
Thank you so much. Maybe
Class
excuse, Your Honor.
You bet. In class 651690, State of Texas versus Bill Anthony Rhodes. Mr. Rhodes, let's see. I show this to be originally be an offense of DWI with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. State, is it staying that particular offense, or are you reducing it?
Not reducing it. It's staying as a 0.15.
Okay. Okay. Objection from the defense, that will be granted. Therefore, Mr. Rhodes, to the charge of driving while intoxicated first offense, how do you plead, sir?
No contest, Your Honor.
And is there an agreement for Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 8/18, $500 fine, court cost, 20 hours community service, DWI ed, dip, cat snip, Smart Start mobile for half the term, and restitution, if any, to Joel Hong - Vasquez.
Joel?
Joel.
Next word,
Hong, Hong, and then there's a hyphen,
okay?
and then Vasquez. Gotcha.
Got it. Defense, any personal injury alleged on this case that we know of at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, that has been resolved. Mr. Rhodes' care has accepted responsibility. I don't know the status of payment, if it's actually been finalized and all the releases signed yet, though.
Understand. Okay, Mr. Rhodes, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated. First offense, I find you guilty. All right, so that's 8 months in the bear, excuse me. That'll be 6 months, I'm assuming, not 8 months, right, State?
No, Judge, it is 8 months, Judge.
8 months for a Class B?
It's not a Class B, Judge. It's 0.15 or higher. It's Class A.
I thought you just waived the greater than 1.5 and made it a DWI first.
Judge, no, I did not waive.
I'm losing it. Sorry, guys.
So, counsel's correctly stated the agreement, Your Honor.
Okay. So the defendant pled no contest to driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. Everybody
Yes,
agree?
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Judge.
I find him guilty. This is all a plea bargain. I find him guilty. I says 8 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 18 months. It says a $500 fine plus court costs, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program outpatient drug, Smart Start mobile device for half the term or 9 months, and restitution, if any, to Joel Hong Vasquez. Would that be correct, State?
Correct, Judge.
And that be correct, defense?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Rhodes, you understand that probation is going to contact you and what to do if they don't?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Rhodes?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, it's cause number 645653, State of Texas versus Roxanne Romero. This is a DWI second. State, are there any motions on this one?
I don't believe there is, Judge.
No, Your Honor, we did all the paperwork as a second.
Okay. Therefore, Mr. Romero to the charge of driving while intoxicated, second offense. How do you plead, ma'am?
No contest, Your Honor.
And is there an agreement for Ms. Romero?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 6/16, $500 fine, court costs, 40 hours community service, DWI intervention, DIP, CATSNP, Smart Start mobile for half the term, and restitution, if any, to Joshua Duran.
I apologize. What is the length of probation? Is 6 months underlying over how long?
16 months, Judge.
Gotcha. So we're going to have Smart Start mobile for 8 months. Everybody agree?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
The defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Romero, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated. Second offense, I find you guilty. I says 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 16 months. A $500 fine plus court costs, 40 hours of community service, DWI intervention, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program outpatient drug, Smart Start mobile home breath testing machine for 8 months, and restitution, if any, to Joshua Duran. Is that correct, State?
Correct, Judge.
And defense, is that correct?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Romero?
No, Judge.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Romero, you know what to do when the probation officer forgets to call you, right?
Yes, but can I have the number again? I didn't write it down.
Pat, let's give them all a number again, please. Thanks.
Okay, the phone number is 210-335-7200 and ask for intake.
Okay, I got that one. Thank you.
Good.
All right. Good luck, Ms. Romero. Thank you, Ms. Lee.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Y'all are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clause number 639977, State of Texas versus Jerry Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez, to the charge of evading arrest, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
I'm sorry, was that no contest? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, is there an agreement for Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 3 days Bear County Jail, a $200 fine, court costs, credit for time served, time and money run concurrent, and we ask that this be a JSAT.
Is that correct, defense?
Yes, Judge.
I'm looking for Mr. Sanchez on my pictures here.
We're in the picture together, Your Honor. I'm in the left corner. He's in the right corner.
Oh, I see you. I just want to see if you looked really fast and what kind of police officer was able to catch you, I guess was my question.
He stopped, actually, Your Honor.
Okay. And defense, is that your understanding of the plea bargain?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of evading arrest. I find you guilty. I said 3 days in the Bear County Jail, a $200 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Sanchez?
No, Judge.
Nothing, Judge.
Let Mr. Sanchez. Thank you, Ms. Russell. Y'all are excused. Okay, it's called 646-132, State of Texas versus Joshua Finken. And Mr. Finken, hang on a second, please. To the charge of reckless driving, how do you plead, sir?
Contest.
No contest. And is there an agreement for Mr. Finken?
Yes, Judge. This is per felony. It's going to be 12 months deferred adjudication, $500 fine, a parenting class, driver safety course, regular UAs, and no driving with minors for their probation, for the duration of probation. And the state will also be TICing, and there's a felony cause number. You let me know when you're ready, Judge.
Sure, go ahead.
It's 2020 CR 10102.
2020 CR 10102.
That's correct, Judge.
And what is the felony? What type of case?
1 second, Judge.
Child endangerment, Judge.
Okay. And I believe you said that part of the agreement is going to be the defendant agrees not to drive with any minors in his vehicle during the term of probation. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
Correct, Judge.
And otherwise, defense, that's your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Finken, the court accepts your plea of no contest defense of reckless driving. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt, place you on 1 year deferred adjudication probation, assessing a $500 fine plus court costs, requiring you to go to a parenting class and a driver safety class as approved by the adult probation department, and regular UAs, which means at least one a month, and no driving with a minor in your car. Minor meaning a child under the age of what, 18? Is that what we're all talking about?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And this case is going to run concurrent with 2020 CR 10102.
No, Judge. The state is going to be taking into consideration clause number. And Mr. White, that's what I was going to talk to you about. Are you going to reach out to the felony and about that dismissal? Because I'm not sure if I really have authority to dismiss that case, but I just wanted it on the record.
Yeah, I'll talk to, I can't remember what her name is.
I can, 1 second. Let me see if I can find out who it is.
Hey, what we need on our record is the fact that it was represented to you by a felony prosecutor in charge of the felony case, that they were agreeing to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, Lucille Landers offered the plea and agreed to dismiss the pending felony in as a take into consideration the plea on this misdemeanor, Judge.
Okay. I'm good. Mr. Finken, you got any questions?
No, sir.
And I guess that takes care of it. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Finken?
No, Judge.
Let Mr. Finken. Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you.
Y'all are dismissed.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. We got clause 620957, State of Texas versus Benny Gomez. And was this initially a driving while intoxicated first offense case, or is it being reduced?
Judge, I think it's first.
Paul, do you know?
It's an original first.
Okay, so it started out as AWI first. Okay, so Mr. Gomez, to the charge of driving while intoxicated first offense, how do you plead, sir?
No contest, Your Honor.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Gomez?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 16 months deferred adjudication, a $300 fine, court costs, 24 hours community service, DWI education, DIP, CAT SNP, DOPE, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
And Mr. Vasquez, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yeah, it was 16 months, correct?
16 months. That's correct.
Yeah, that is correct, Judge.
6 months. Mr. Gomez, if I give you your analysis test today, are you going to come up positive for marijuana?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. I'm going to test you again in 31 days, okay? So no more hanging out with the guys and doing funny things. Fair enough?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All good. Okay, Mr. Gomez, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated. First offense, I find you guilty. Excuse me. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt. Place you on 16 months deferred adjudication probation. It says a $300 fine plus court costs, 24 hours community service, WI education, WI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program outpatient drug, DOEP marijuana, and require you to use a Smart Start mobile home and breath testing device for 1/2 your term of 8 months or 8 months. And the defendant has been truthful with the court and told us he was going to be positive for marijuana today, so we're giving him 31 days to not be positive. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Gomez?
Nothing further.
Good luck, Mr. Gomez. Thank you, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, do we get,
Your Honor, Susan has her IT working on it. She still has not gotten it. Mr. Garcia, his client, Eli Perez, is on there now. So you can do the VTC plea as well as Ms. Perez's plea.
okay. I've got cause number 645-148, State of Texas versus Ellie Marie Perez, as represented by Richard Garcia. I have 2 Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial diversion plea and probation agreements. The first one, cause number 630-422, State of Texas versus Robert Gonzalez, as represented by Ms. Sophie Martinez. And the second one, cause 647-148, State of Texas versus Eugene Webb, as represented by Brian O'Donnell. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to identify your signatures on a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, which purports to have both the defendant and the attorney's signature on it. Ms. Perez, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. And yes. And Mr. Garcia, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
It is, Your Honor.
And Ms. Martinez, as attorney for Mr. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document?
It is, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Webb, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. O'Donnell, as attorney for Mr. Webb, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm holding in front of you documents entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonition that purport to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Perez, is your signature on the back of this document, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And Mr. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Webb, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. By signing these documents, are each of you telling me that you've had enough time to either read these documents or have them read to you in their entirety? If you had any questions about what was on these documents, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys. So that in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on these documents. Is that correct, Ms. Perez?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And is that correct, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And is that correct, Mr. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. As attorney for Ms. Perez, have you had enough time to go over this case with her? And in your opinion, is she mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Ms. Martinez as attorney for Mr. Gonzalez.
I have, and he is, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. O'Donnell as attorney for Mr. Webb.
He is competent. I have had time to go over everything with him. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Perez, are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Same question for Mr. Gonzalez.
I am, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Mr. Garcia, as attorney for Ms. Perez, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this?
Yes, Your Honor, they have.
Same question for Ms. Martinez as attorney for Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. O'Donnell as attorney for Mr. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm looking at Ms. Perez's file. This is indicated as a driving while intoxicated first offense. Did it start out that way, or does the state need to make a motion and reduce something?
We're talking about Ms. Perez, Judge.
Yes, correct, Ms. Perez.
I will be making a motion to waive the 0.15 enhancement and proceed as a DWI first.
Okay. Richard, no objection from the defense. That will be granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Therefore, Ms. Perez, in cause 645-148, it is now alleged that you committed the crime of driving while intoxicated first offense. To the crime of driving while intoxicated first offense. How do you plead, ma'am?
No contest.
I believe, there we go. And is there an agreement for Ms. Perez?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be 6/12, $300 fine, court costs, 36 hours community service, DWI education, DIP, CATSNP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, and restitution to David Castro in the amount of $1,500 and to Julian Duran in the amount of $250 and a no contact order with David Castro. And the state will be taking into consideration cause number 638082.
Is that correct, defense?
Yes, it is, Judge.
And I apologize, I lost David's last name. Restitution to David who?
Castro.
Castro, thank you.
And Your Honor, for the court's information, it's my understanding that Mr. Castro wants to waive the restitution, but he hasn't done so thus far.
Okay, well, if that changes, I would just let state and me know, and we'll go from there, I guess.
Thank you, Judge.
You bet. Okay. Ms. Perez, in cause number 645-148, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated first offense. I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, $300 fine plus court costs, 36 hours of community service, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety new intervention program, outpatient drug, 6 months Smart Start Mobile, which is half your term of probation, restitution, if any, or actually there is some restitution to David Castro in the amount of $1,500. The defense has represented to the court that may change and that Mr. Castro may waive his restitution. If that happens, the defense is bring it to the states and my attention. And restitution to Julian Dunn, is that D-U-N-N, Delta Uniform November state?
No, Judge, it's actually Duran.
Oh, Duran, I can't read my own writing, sorry. In the amount of $250 and a no
Correct.
contact order with David Castro. Is that
Correct, Judge.
Oh, and taking into consideration clause 638082, which is granted, and it shall be dismissed. So defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Thank you, Judge.
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Thank you. And state was
Yes,
that
Your
your
Honor.
Okay. Ms. Perez, is there any reason that you need to get in contact with David Castro for whatever?
Well, actually, yeah, because we're gonna be living together, so I'm trying to see if that could be waived, as well as if he is here present right now, is there any way that he could waive that restitution as we speak?
Let me back up. Who is Mr. Castro to you? Are y'all related or have a relationship or anything?
No, he's my fiance.
He's still your fiance?
Yes.
Okay, well, state, is there a reason why we're having no contact order with Mr. Castro? Does he
Judge, because the last time Judge, because the last time I spoke to them, they wanted it. And as far as I know, I have not heard from the CW, the complaining witness. So
Was there an auto accident? He was in the car or something? This is all kind of unusual.
Hey, Judge, if I can pull up the offense report real quick.
Well, you don't need to go that far. Richard, what I would suggest is I can always alter and amend and either reduce that to no contact, harmful or injurious, or not waive the whole no contact, depending on what the state agrees to. So why don't you stay on top of that and just let the state and me know what ultimately decision this alleged victim wants to do with the no contact order.
Gotcha, Judge. Okay.
Okay. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Perez?
No, Judge.
Good luck, Mr. Perez. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. What's the matter, Mr. Garcia? You couldn't find any more mountains to climb? That's it? They're all climbing now?
That's right. I'm quarantined.
All right. Very good. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez. To the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Court accepts your plea of guilty. Places you on 1 year Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial diversion. Assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee. 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service.
Sir.
DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel. You're eligible for VA services, are you not, sir?
No, sir. I have 0 VA in the 22 years I was in.
Well, you'll be doing outpatient drug evaluation and follow-on counseling if necessary with a designated provider, not the VA. We don't know who that's going to be at this time.
Yes, sir.
And let's see. Six months Smart Start mobile home interlock device. Requiring successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court, issued judge's bond, defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. At this time, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm looking at a document entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention, which is a contract by and between you and your attorney in the Bexar County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract containing all the requirements and prerequisites for your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Is this your signature on this document, sir?
Is Your Honor.
And as defense counsel for Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Martinez, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
And as assistant criminal district attorney, is this your signature, Mr. Maru, on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we got Mr. Gonzalez now. We got him on contract. And let's see. I believe that takes care of it. What did you do in the military, Mr. Gonzalez?
I was an engineering officer, sir.
And what rank were you when you got out?
Chief Warrant Officer 3.
Wow.
A little different than the Army's.
Were you a Green Beret or something colorful?
Not in the Navy, sir, no.
Okay. And I'm looking back on y'all's initial agreement, and I didn't miss anything except alcohol awareness, and that's not really a course. So. Okay, State, does that pretty much take care of your side of this?
Yes, Judge.
And Ms. Martinez, does that take care of your side of this?
Yes, Your Honor. Other than Judge, I just wanted to bring up that Mr. Gonzalez is teaching, and he normally every day gets out of classes at 2 o'clock. So just wanted the court and the VTC staff to be aware of that so that y'all could work with him on his schedule, because he is doing Zoom classes and it's hard for him to be available before that time.
Are these college classes, or what classes are we talking about?
No, sir. I teach at Nimitz Middle School.
Ah, okay, I got you. Actually, once a month, we'll be having a VTC docket, and that'll start at 3. And on a Monday, a designated Monday that we'll obviously be telling you in advance about. If you have any conflict stuff, get back with us. Obviously, we all agree with you that your job is critical and that that may take a priority over what we're doing. So just stay in touch with us and let us know what your schedule needs to be, and we'll work with you. Fair enough, sir?
Thank you, sir. Yes, I don't foresee any problems at all.
All right, all good. Anything else we need to talk about on Mr. Gonzalez?
Mr. Gonzalez, Ron Moore is going to be calling you right after this to get you set up. And we'll have you set up for orientation with for the VTC here in the next few days, okay?
Yeah, and I printed out your whole
all this
packet.
down. And we'll talk about the treatment piece because I know that you had went for an assessment prior to coming in. We'll talk about what the next phase for you is, okay?
Aye, aye.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Gonzalez, what age kids are you teaching?
Sir, I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so ranging from 11 to 14.
Oh, perfect. Then you'll be able to communicate with Mr. Mora perfectly. Just fine.
Wow. No comment. No comment.
Next case, 647-148, Dennis, Texas versus Eugene Webb. Mr. Webb, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty, sir.
Court accepts your plea of guilty. Hold it in abeyance. Places you on 1 year. Bear County Veterans Treatment Court pretrial intervention, assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee, 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service. DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, Smart Start mobile home interlock for 6 months, outpatient drug with VA if you're eligible or another provider. And let's see. Oh, a Navy guy. I'll talk slower. It'll be okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What did I miss? We need successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Defendant to be supervised by CSCD and the VTC staff. And I've got to go over the contract. This time, Mr. Webb, I'm looking at a document entitled Pretrial Intervention, which is a contract by and between you and your attorney and the Bear County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the terms and prerequisites of your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. O'Donnell, as attorney for Mr. Webb, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Maru, as Assistant Criminal District Attorney, I assume this is your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
And Pat, I noticed as a part of housekeeping administratively that my signature on this document is not dated, so that needs to be dated, please.
Okay, Your Honor, I'll make sure it's done.
And that's what I got. What'd you do in the Navy, Mr. Webb?
I was a hospital corpsman and pharmacy tech, sir.
You're very popular with Marines, apparently. Would that be accurate?
Yes, sir, that would be accurate.
Well, don't hang around Chris too close because he's a known Marine.
I'll keep that in mind. Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Webb?
No, Judge.
Your Honor, regarding the Smart Start mobile, my client has a device now, and I informed him that he'll need some kind of court order once he shows proof of the Smart Start mobile. So he'll have the ability to remove that other device.
Correct. What device is he on now?
I'm on a Lifesaver, a home breathalyzer test, sir.
Okay.
I've been on it for about 4 months.
Just you got 10 days to get on the Smart Start mobile device. Once that's active, just let your attorney know. He'll call me and we'll change on a computer. We'll authorize you to remove the other one so you don't have to pay for 2 devices every month.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All good. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Webb?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Y'all are dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Mr. Moore will be calling you as well, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir. I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Mr. Duarte and Nick, I've been in contact with Susan. She is having her IT is having to go and see what is wrong with her laptop. What she offered to do so we could do it today is I can put her on speakerphone and she can read everything that way, if that is all right with everybody.
Okay with the court. Okay with the defense.
Okay with the defense, Your Honor.
Okay with the state.
Sounds good, Judge.
Let me call her now.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
You bet. Thank you, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, sir.
Hello? Can you hear her?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. All right, here we go. Hold on.
Susan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Call number 629-317, State of Texas versus David Rodriguez. Representing Mr. Rodriguez is Attorney Demetrio Duarte. Representing the state is Mr. Nicholas Maru. Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Duarte, I first need to identify your signatures on a document titled Defendant's Consent to MTR Hearing by Video Conference. Mr. Rodriguez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Duarte, as attorney for Mr. Rodriguez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And actually, I have one more document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Duarte, once again, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. My understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke probation. Would that be correct, Mr. Duarte?
Yes, Judge, it's basically a plea of true with an explanation.
Okay.
The court will remember that we had this case heard in December, I think December 6th. Mr. Rodriguez had not completed some coursework, so we extended his probation in order to allow him to complete the course. Your Honor placed him on Scram, and he was to complete his community service hours. We agree that he has not, at least at the time of the MTR being filed, he had not paid the Scram fee. It was our understanding by way of probation that you cannot pay your community supervision, your community service hours until you pay all of your other fees. So I'm not sure how that goes, but in the meantime, as Your Honor had ordered, Mr. Rodriguez had enrolled in the courses that he was supposed to take.
Hey, Mr. Duarte, I apologize for interrupting. Let me stop you there and let me go ahead and go down my script, because you're going to get all the time you want to talk about anything you want to talk about, but let's do it at the appropriate time. So at this time, Mr. Rodriguez, on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
Mr. Rodriguez will be pleading guilty to failure to pay the Scram fee, Your Honor.
Okay, that would be true, not guilty. And
True, I'm sorry.
I believe that would be number 15. Ms. Gross, do you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the court accepts the plea of true with an explanation to condition number 15. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Rodriguez's probation?
Yes, Your Honor. His reporting has been good. His case is paid in full. He has completed 20 of his 48 hours of community service. He's completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and has not completed the CAPSNIP program. He was ordered to do weekly drug testing on December 7th, and he has done that. He's had a total of 4 negative drug tests since being placed on probation. He was ordered to get a Scram device on December 7th of 2020, and on January 5th, the Scram people deactivated his device because he failed to make his payments, and I believe he is about $720 in arrears. We are recommending revocation. He has no criminal history, and this case was originally on deferred, and the deferred was taken away, and he was placed on regular probation and given a second opportunity on December 7th of 2020.
State recommendation?
Along with probation, Judge.
And I'm sorry, probation, what was your recommendation again? Revocation, is that correct?
Revocation, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, now we're back to you. So take your time and tell us whatever you'd like to tell us.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to update probation to make sure that they are on board with this. Your Honor will recall that Mr. Rodriguez was arrested, and he could not get out of jail unless and until he reactivated Scram. Mr. Rodriguez went to, I forget the name of the office, his father went. He has paid his Scram in full, and the only reason he's on the streets today is because Scram is active right now after paying all outstanding fees, paying his current fee. He is even ahead of payments on his counseling sessions. And one thing that Your Honor was very insistent upon was making sure that he was taking his courses, which not only has he prepaid for the courses, but he's actually completed one of the courses. I spoke with his probation officer and confirmed that Mr. Rodriguez had in fact completed that course. He has scheduled all of the courses that he's supposed to take. This really was between December and now a payment issue, a question between paying the total fees, which he did. Your Honor may recall he owed some money for fine, court cost, supervisory fees back in December. All of those were paid, and I think probation has just confirmed that. So the allocation of some of these monies, Mr. Rodriguez had thought that some of the money was going to Scram, but that was not the case. But he has paid everything for Scram, and like I said, the only reason he's out and not in jail was because Scram has been paid in full. He did have an outstanding balance with them and was making payments, but they insisted that he bring it paid all in full, which he has done at this point. So really, from what I can tell, he's paid everything in full, court cost, supervisory fees. He's got 20 hours of community supervision done. He wanted to pay off the supervision, the community service, I'm sorry, but was not allowed to do that recently because we have to complete the course and pay all other fees, is what his understanding is. And so he would like the opportunity, Your Honor, to complete taking the courses that he is supposed to take. And to his credit, one of the things that probation just told us is Your Honor asked for weekly testing, and he is having weekly testing. He is not coming back dirty for alcohol or drugs or anything. He's doing very well. And the question here was just an allocation of money to different sources. We have corrected that. He is current on everything, and he's actually ahead of schedule on payments. So there's a little bit of a disconnect with some of the information that probation has, but it really is pretty obvious that the only reason he's not in jail was because he had to pay back everything that was owed to Scram. There's no outstanding balance, and that's really what I have.
How much did he pay Scram? Do you recall, Demetrio?
I think it was $792.
Ms. Gross, my understanding from what you told us is what is outstanding on Mr. Rodriguez's case right now, he owes us 28 hours of community service. He's done 20 out of 48. Does that sound right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And apparently he was kicked out of Catснip or rejected from Catснip or something. What happened in Catснip?
I think he was enrolled in it and it started, and when he went to jail, yes, he was kicked out. And at this time, due to my computer issues, I cannot verify whether or not he is actually active in Catснip. I would have to call Dean.
Mr. Duarte, is Mr. Rodriguez back in Catснip yet, or is that on his agenda at some future point?
It is my understanding that he completed one class, and the 2 days that he was in jail did not disqualify him. He has on his calendar future courses that he's already paid for.
And Ms. Gross, with regard to, I think I took away Mr. Rodriguez deferred last time, is that correct?
Yes, on December 7th, I believe it was, Your Honor. Yes, December 7th of 2020, you revoked the deferred and placed him on regular probation for a period of
6 months.
6 months.
And what was the fine amount back then, if you recall?
I don't have that. I'll have to get that to you, but I have no computer right now. IT has control of my computer.
What was the question?
$450.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think we agreed that was $450, Judge.
That sounds right. State, if I choose to revoke Mr. Rodriguez, do you have a recommendation on sentencing? He's done a substantial amount of things, and then, of course, he's not done a substantial amount of things. So it's kind of offsetting.
Yes, Judge. State will be asking for 90 days.
Judge, we would certainly ask the court to consider the continuation on the probation, given the good performance since December of taking the class. All of the UAs have come back clean. He has performed community service. This really was just a question of money.
And my understanding is he's got 6 days credit of Bear County jail time. Everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I don't know if that includes the last 2 days that he had.
It is. As of this morning, that's the amount he had.
Mr. Rodriguez, the court accepts your plea of true to condition 15 on the motion to revoke community supervision with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 18 days in the Bear County Jail, a $450 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Rodriguez?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck,
No,
Mr.
Judge.
Rodriguez. Thank you, Mr. Duarte.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I understand it, there's nothing else for Mr. Rodriguez to do with probation.
That's
He
correct.
can go over and get the scram device removed.
I would like to thank him for doing the good things he did, and the rest of it is why we're where we are today. So there you go.
Yes, sir. How long before the paperwork for the scram removal will be on the computer?
I'll send it in today, but it probably won't be on till tomorrow.
Okay. I'll have Mr. Rodriguez call my office right now and I'll explain everything.
All right.
Mr. Duarte, Susan was asking, is he on scram by probation or through bond?
No, it's through probation.
Okay. Okay, Susan?
Okay, I'll have to get an order as soon as I can get my computer back.
Sure. And I need Susan, you to stay, Judge, Nick, and Alexis. Y'all can go.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Y'all have a great day.
Bye.